President, please be seated. The court is now in session. Today, the chamber starts hearing testimonies as part of the facts to be tried in case 002/02. That is the Kampong Chhnang Airport worksite. And the first witness for the Kampong Chhnang Airport worksite is through TCW 975. Ms. Jisi Huang, please report the attendance of the parties and other individuals at today's proceedings. Grazie. Mr. President, for today's proceedings, all parties to this case are present. Mr. Nuji is present in the holding cell downstairs. He has waived his rights to be present in the courtroom. The waiver has been delivered to the greffier. A witness who is to testify today, that is through TCW 975, confirms that through his best knowledge, he has no relationship by blood or by law to any of the two accused, that is Nunchi and Kiev Sampon, or to any of the civil parties admitted in this case. The witness took an oath before the Iron Club statue this morning and is waiting to be called by the chamber. Thank you. President, thank you. The chamber now decides on the request by Nuon Chea. The chamber has received a waiver from Nuon Chea dated 9 June 2015, which states that due to his health, that is headache, back pain, he cannot sit or concentrate for long, and in order to effectively participate in future hearings, he requests to waive his rights to participate in and be present at the 9 June 2015 hearing. He advises that his counsel advised him about the consequence of this waiver, that in no way it can be construed as a waiver of his rights to be tried fairly or to challenge evidence presented or admitted to this court at any time during this trial. Having seen the medical report of Nuon Chea by the duty doctor for the accused at ECCC dated 9 June 2015, who notes that Nuon Chea has a severe back pain when he sits for long, and recommends that the chamber so grant him his requests that he can follow the proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs. Based on the above information and pursuant to Rule 81.5 of the ECCC internal rules, the chamber grants Nuon Chea his request to follow today's proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs via an audio-visual means. The AV unit personnel are instructed to link the proceedings to the room downstairs so that Nuon Chea can follow it remotely. That applies for the whole day. And court officer, please usher the witness into the courtroom. President, good morning, Mr. Witness. What is your name? And please, sir, observe the microphone. Witness, good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jan Mon. President, thank you. And when were you born? Answer. I was born in 1954. Question. Were you born in 1954? Is that what you said? Answer. Yes. Question. And where were you born? Answer. I was born in Tropang Prey village, Krang Skir commune, Tekpok district, Kampong Chnang province. Question. And where is your current address? Answer. Currently, I lived in Svai Thom village or Dambong Pi commune, Sangkai district, but Dambong province. Question. What is your current occupation? Answer. I have been a civil servant since 1979. However, I have been retired from the service in the last few years. Question. What are the names of your parents? Answer. My father is Juk Chon and my mother is Mai Mi. Question. What is your wife's name and how many children do you have? Answer. My wife is Sun Jut and we have 4 children, that is 1 daughter and 3 sons. President, thank you, Mr. Chanmon. The greffier made a report that to your best knowledge, you are not related by blood or by law to any other 2 accused, that is Nguyen Chi and Kisampon, or any of the civil parties admitted in this case. Is that information accurate? Answer. Yes, that is true. President, and that you already have taken an oath before your appearance this morning. Is that true? Answer. Yes, that is true. Mr. President's microphone is not on. President, Mr. Chanmon, the Chamber would like to inform you of your rights and obligations as a witness. As a witness in the proceedings before the Chamber, you may refuse to respond to any question or to make any comment which may incriminate you. That is your right against self-incrimination. This means that you may refuse to provide your response or make any comments that could lead you to being prosecuted. As a witness in the proceedings before the Chamber, you must respond to any questions by the bench or relevant parties, except where your response or comment to those questions may incriminate you, as the Chamber has just informed you of your right as a witness. You must tell the truth that you have known, heard, seen, remembered, experienced, or observed directly in relation to an event or occurrence relevant to the questions that a bench or parties pose to you. And Mr. Janmon, have you been interviewed by investigators of the Office of the Co-Investigating Judges? And if so, how many times, when, and where? Answer: I was interviewed once at my house. Question: and can you recall when it took place? Answer: I cannot recall the year. It was in 2000 something. Question: and before your appearance today, have you reviewed or read the written record of your statements that you provided to the OCRJ investigators in order to refresh your memory? And yes, I read parts of the statement. Question: and to your best recollection, does the written record of your statement reflect the statements that you made before the OCRJ investigators? I only spoke of the events that I witnessed or experienced. President, my question is this: after you reviewed the written record of your interview, does the written record reflect the words you gave to the OCRJ investigators during your interview? Answer: yes, it is similar in content. President, for questioning this witness, pursuant to Rule 91B of the ECCC internal rules, the Chamber grants the floor to the co-prosecutors first, and the combined time for the co-prosecutors and lead co-lawyers for civil parties are 3 sessions, and you may proceed. National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors. Good morning, parties, and everyone in and around the courtroom. And good morning, Mr. Witness. My name is Sein Liang. I'm a National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, and I have some questions to put to you for clarification. I have 4 main topics to cover. First, I'd like to know briefly about your background before and after 1975. The second topic is in relation to your first visit to the airport construction worksite in Kampong Chnang. And the third topic is in regard to your trip to Kampong Sound. And lastly, it is related to your experience at the Kampong Chnang airport construction site. After that, my international colleague will put some further questions to you. And to start with, could you please tell the Chamber whether you joined the revolution led by the Khmer Rouge during the Civil War period? Answer: I was asked to join the revolution since I was in grade 11 in the old educational system. Question, and what year was that? Answer, it was in March 1970. It was the 3rd of March 1970. Question, and how old were you then? Answer, I was around 14 years old. Yes, I was 14 years old. Question, so you attended, you joined the revolution while you were still studying, is that correct? I was called to join the revolution while I was still studying. Question, and can you please specify again at what grade and at which school? And answer, it was in Krangski commune. Question, what were you assigned to do when you initially joined the revolution? Answer, I accompanied those people. You could say I was their messenger. When they traveled to various villages and communes, I escorted them. Question, and you worked as a messenger. Could you please specify the villages and communes? Answer, it was within Krangski commune. Do you mean that you worked as a messenger for the commune chief? Answer, I worked as a messenger for the commune. Question, and who actually assigned you as a commune messenger? Answer, they all died. I recall one name, that is Janta. Question, and who is this Janta? Answer, he's from the same village. Question, and what was his position at the time? Answer, he worked at the commune office. However, allow me to say that I only worked at the commune for 1 week. Then I was assigned to work at the sector. Question, and besides working as a messenger, were you assigned any other duties? Answer, I also was assigned to transport food supply. Question, and to transport food supply from where to where? Answer, I transported food supply to the sector, and then I was assigned to work at the sector. Question, you stated that you work as a commune messenger. Did you work as a messenger for the commune committee or for the military section within the commune? Answer, initially I worked as a commune messenger, and I was the youngest amongst them all. Question. And in what year were you assigned as a messenger for the military? Answer. That happened in 1972. Question. And who assigned you as a messenger for the military? Answer. It was Brother Levy. And Vun who made that assignment. Question. And who was this man, Levy? And who was Vin? Answer. He was a group or unit chief within the army. Question. My apology, maybe I ask two questions in one. Please first answer the first part. Who was Levy? And then please also specify who Vin was. Question. Both of them were unit chiefs. Question. And which unit was that? Answer. They were commanders of Regiment 120. Question. Please specify the regiment number again. Is it 120 or 130? Answer. My apology. It was Regiment 130. Question. At that time, or by that time, did you get to know a person by the name of Suk? Question. Could you please repeat that name? Suk or Suk? I cannot recall all the names. Question. You stated from 1972 you worked as a messenger for Levy and Vin. Is that correct? Answer. I worked with Levy until 1975. Question. As a messenger, what duties were you assigned to do? Answer. I was used to convey messages from one unit to another. Question. I'd like to move on to the events that took place after 17 April 1975. What were you assigned to do after the Khmer Rouge immediately took control of Phnom Penh city? Answer. Immediately after that, I was assigned to work for the technical section within the transportation unit to carry materials and cargoes. Question in your interview, that is E3/5278 at Khmer EN 0028 7525, English 00292821, and French 0035 5862. You stated that on the 19 April 1975, you moved the artillery unit from Kop Sreu to be stationed at Cham Chau Barrack, and that at 4:30 on the same day, a group of 14 of Jews were stationed to guard the Stung Min Chai radio station. Stung Min Chai station. Can you recall that part of your statement? And so that happened immediately after the fall of Phnom Penh. We were gathered to move the artillery unit to be kept at Cham Chau. Then my force was assigned to stand guard at Stung Min Chai station. And how long did you station to guard at Stung Min Chai? And what were you assigned to do next? Answer: I only stationed at Stung Min Chai for 2 nights, and then I was assigned to go to Kampong Saum.
Question: do you recall that at one time you were assigned to stand guard at Pojantong Airport? Answer: it was after my return from Kampong Saum. I was asked to station and guard materials at Pojantong Airport. Question: you stated after your return. Was it after the return from Stung Min Chai radio station, or was it after the return from Kampong Saum? Answer: after my return from Kampong Saum, I was asked to station at Pojantong Airport. I was at that airport for 1 week, after which I was asked to move materials to Kampong Chnang province. Co-prosecutor: I would like to refer again document E3/5278. Eon in Khmer is 002875 and 25. English 0029 28 21. French 0035 58 62. You stated that, quote, on 19 April 1975, you moved artillery unit from to Cham Chau, and at 4 p.m. on the same date, your group of 12 went to station and guard at Stung Min Chai area, and the day after you were assigned to station and guard Pojantong Airport. Half month later, I saw Chinese cargo planes transporting different cargoes, including food, army equipment, and other materials to Pojantong Airport. And after that time, I was asked to move those materials and equipment to Kampong Chnang. Do you recall what I have just read to you? Answer: it happened a long time ago. I have been sick so far, so I do not recall what you read. And I was injured by the explosion, the scraps of the landmine, and I became a little bit, I could not hear well, so I cannot recall well as well.
ឥឡូវខ្ញុំនិយាយអំពីអ្វីដែលបានលោកបានលើកឡើងថាលោក
Co-prosecutor, you stated that you went to Kampong Saum. What did you do there? Answer: I was asked to go and collect the trucks shipped from China. I was asked to go to the port, Kampong Saum port, and collect all those materials such as trucks. Question: who did you go with? Answer: there were a lot of us, many drivers. There were about 100 of us. There were around 100 or 200 trucks at a time, which were shipped from China. And those who went with me at that time, some of them passed away, and there are only few of us survived. And I could make a contact with one person that I went to Kampong Saum together with him at that time. Question: who led your group, and where were they from? Answer: it was Brother Leway assigned us to go and collect those cargo, and after we could take and collect the materials such as truck, we came back, and Tamet was the one at the place that he was waiting to receive the materials that we were asked to go and take. Co-prosecutor, you stated that you worked with Leway. Could you tell the court, besides you were assigned to go and collect material and put in airport at Pojantong Airport, what else did you do? And did you go to receive Chinese delegation? Answer: I was asked to go and receive Chinese delegation. Question: you stated that you went to collect the Chinese materials at Kampong Saum. Were those materials from China? Answer: yes, it was Chinese aid. Question: besides this aid, did China provide human resources? Answer. I noticed there were only materials that I went to collect. There were earth-carrying basket, hoes, tracks, etc. These materials were used to do the farming and to build an irrigation system. Question. I am referring to engineers. Were there any Chinese engineers sent from China? Answer. Yes, there were Chinese engineers. Question. You stated that those materials were used to build the dam and dig the canals. Could you clarify for the court, were these materials not used for building Kampong Chnang Airport? Answer. I saw bulldozer trucks, vehicles, and earth-carrying baskets. Some of these materials were sent to the dam site or irrigation work site, and some other were sent to Kampong Chnang Airport work site. Co-prosecutor, I would like you to elaborate on this matter. What kind of materials were sent to use for building Kampong Chnang Airport? Answer. I saw and went to collect some equipment such as bulldozers, vehicle generators, saw. There were many kinds of them. I went to collect and bring to the airport. And Chinese technicians came to assemble some of those equipment. Question. Besides this work, did you ever accompany Chinese delegations to various provinces? Answer. Yes, I accompanied Chinese delegation to Siem Reap, Odo Mien Chey provinces, and the place where there were airplanes which could not be used. As I stated, I accompanied them to Banteay Mien Chey, Bat Dambong, and Kampong Chnang provinces. Question. What was the main reasons that you were asked to accompany those Chinese delegates? Answer. They went there to repair old plants in various provinces. And there were old plants in Siem Reap, so these Chinese technicians went there to repair those plants. I was asked to accompany them. There were two of Chinese delegates. I was with them. Question. After repairing those plants, where were those plants sent to? Answer. After repairing those plants, they were put at Pojantong Airport and in Bat Dambong province. Co-prosecutor, I would like to ask about the first visit that you went to Kampong Chnang Airport. Could you tell the court Were you ever assigned to go and visit Kampong Chhnang Airport? Answer. Because I was in the village and that district, I was asked to accompany Chinese delegation to make a measurement in that area because I was familiar with the geography. Co-prosecutor, could you tell the court when did this happen? I mean, when did you first visit Kampong Chhnang Airport? Answer. It was in early 1976, but I do not recall the exact date. I forgot it. Co-prosecutor, never mind, Mr. Witness, because this happened long time ago. Did you recall who assigned you to visit that site? Answer. It was mate. He already passed away. He asked me to accompany Chinese delegation there. Question. Who was mate? Answer. Mate was the commander of the army. He was the commander of the air forces in the Division 502. Question. Who was the chief and who was the deputy chief? I mean, I'm referring to Wei and Su mate, and mate rather. Answer. Mate was the chief. Question. What about Wei? There were 3 of them. They were in the one group. Three of them worked together. And who else besides Mate and Levay in that group? Answer. It was the person I referred earlier. Later on, this individual was transferred to infantry. Co-prosecutor, never mind, Mr. Witness, if you cannot recall, I would like to move on. What did you do when you were there? Answer. I was a driver driving the Chinese delegate, and I sent the delegation to the place where they conducted the measurement, and they went to drill the land, and it was the Chinese technician or engineer who did that kind of work. I was there just to observe. Question. Do you recall who made the measurement of the runway? Answer. It was the engineer. It was the Chinese engineer and Uncle Song, and who later passed away. Co-prosecutor. I am referring to the first time you were asked by maids to that airport. Who did the measurement and how was it done? Answer. The Chinese delegation, they used the measurement machine and then they asked the Khmer workers to measure the land. Co-prosecutor, I am referring now to document E3/5278, EON in Khmer 00 28 75 26, English 00 29 28 22, and French 00 35 58 63. You stated that I rode a 350cc Honda motorbike to measure the land from the speedometer. As per order and indication from the maps, Louis told me that the airport construction project starts from Krang Lieu Pagoda and extends to Sap Ongkam Bridge and National Road number 5. Based on the bike speedometer, the distance was 7 kilometers. Could you recall what I have just read to you? Answer, yes, I was on that motorbike, and the one who was riding that motorbike with me is still alive today, and he was also invited by the court to recount the events. And as it is true what you have just stated. His name was Pien. And another individual has passed away.
នៅពេលដែលលោកទៅ
Co-prosecutor, when you first arrived and made the measurement by the speedometer, did you notice that the construction had already started? Answer, no, it had not been constructed yet, I mean the airport. And when I was there, I was asked to ride a motorbike from a certain location to another location to make the measurement. Question, could you tell the court from Kampong Chnang, how long was that from Kampong Chnang airport to your birth village? Answer, it's about 12 kilometers from that work site to my birth village. I may have recalled it incorrectly because of my memory. Co-prosecutor, I would like you to specify it again for the court. Where was the Kampong Chnang airport work site? Answer, the area was called the Plau Phum or Plau Ko. And that area was also referred to Wat Stung and Wat Priel. And it reached one bridge. Co-prosecutor, Could you tell the court who decided to select that area to be the work site? Answer: I have no idea. I did not know who made the decision. I was an ordinary worker at that time, and when I received the assignment, I would go to do it. I did not know who decided to select that site. I only knew that maid asked me to accompany the Chinese delegation, and I was there with them. Co-prosecutor: were you told the reason the airport was constructed? Answer: I was only told that I had to accompany those people to make measurement in order to build an airport. Could you tell the court what was the land condition at that airport work site? Answer: as for the land conditions, the surface consisted of sand, and beneath it there was rather stony. Co-prosecutor: was the area mountainous, and was the soil condition hard for digging? Answer: the work site was close to the base of the mountain, and beneath the surface there were stones. So the land condition was quite hard. Co-prosecutor: could you tell the court once again what purpose was the airport constructed? Was it for commercial or for military purpose? Answer: I have no idea the purpose of building that airport. As I stated, I was asked to accompany the Chinese delegation. Co-prosecutor: could you tell the court how many people worked with you during the times that you were asked to help with the measurement? Answer: there were different sections working together. There were other units working with me, with my group, and 3 of us were the drivers. There were many workers from various units. We were from different units and sections. Co-prosecutor: you stated that they were from different units. Were they soldiers or were they civilians? Answer: all of workers were soldiers, both male and female. They were all soldiers. Question: what units were they from? Answer: I could not recall all the units. I only recall there was 502, and later workers were taken from various units. I could not recall them all. Question. Based on your answer, you received advice while doing the measurement. I mean, the advice from Chinese expert. Is that true? Answer. Yes, I received advice from Chinese engineer. They told me how to make the measurement. Chinese delegation were there to start the construction, and I was there just to help those Chinese delegates. Co-prosecutor, could you elaborate on the duties you performed at that time? And what duty did each unit perform? Answer. Some units were working to break rocks, to operate the machine to break rocks. Some were engaged in collecting waste, rubbish. Palm trees were not allowed to have in that place, and some units were asked to uproot the palm trees, so they had different duties in their respective units. Question. How long did you work at that work site? Answer. I was there for 3 months to accompany the Chinese delegation. The Chinese delegation were there to drill the land and to make a measurement. Later on, I was asked to help with clearing trees. Co-prosecutor, from the time you were asked to help with the measurement and the time you were sent to Kampong Sam, what result did you achieve during the time that you worked there? Answer. During the time I was there, the runways had been completed. Yeah, half of the runway had been completed, and the waters area which was reserved for the case that the plant was burned had been completed. And as I stated earlier, half of the runways was completed, and after that I was transferred to work in another place.
Question. After the first trip that you were assigned to do a terrain measurement, what else were you assigned to do? Answer. I was assigned to cut the trees in order to build a post for electricity. It was a bit further from the airport or work site. And question, before you were assigned to cut trees, were you assigned to go to Kampong Saum? Answer, yes, I did. I went to Kampong Saum to make another trip to bring the equipment and materials, and then I was assigned to cut trees. Question, what were those equipment and materials, and how did you transport them to the airport construction site? Answer, they were transported by a train. There were a mixture of various tools, equipment, heavy machineries, and electricity cables. Question, and those equipment and material which you were asked to transport to the airport construction site, where did you store them? They were stored near an old airfield at a house called a Pteh Pram Chuan, or a 5-story house. Question, and what were you assigned to do after you returned from Kampong Saum? Answer, as I said, after I returned from Kampong Saum, I was assigned to take some force to go and cut trees. Question, and how long did you work? Did you do that work? Answer, I cannot recall how many months I spent cutting trees with the men there. I simply cannot recall it. It's likely that it was around 1.5 months to 2 months. Question, during that period, there were other equipments or machineries brought in to the work site? Answer, by that time I did not have any further knowledge about the activities inside the airport construction work site, as I worked at the outside, that is cutting trees. Question, after you returned from Kampong Saum, can you tell the chamber how many workers were working at the airport construction site, if you know it? Answer, there were no ordinary workers, they were all soldiers. Question, I have a last question to put to you before I hand the floor to my international colleague. Can you please tell the court how many people were working there and where they came from? Answer, you mean people working at the airport work site? Answer, I didn't know which units they came from. There were mixtures of various workers from various units. Question, and how many people altogether? Answer, there were many hundreds of people. It could be up to 1,000 workers. In the morning, you could only see heads of people everywhere working at the airport or construction work site. Deputy Co-Prosecutor, Mr. President, I'd like to cede the floor to my international colleagues since I'm done with my part. President, rather it is convenient to have a break. President, it is now convenient to have a break. We will take a break now and resume at 10:30. Court officer, please assist the witness during the break at the waiting room for witnesses and experts, and invite him to return to the courtroom at 10:30. The court is now in recess.